Hey Yankees fans, we have a lot to unpack today, and trust me, it is absolutely wild what the team has decided going into the postseason. The New York Yankees are officially in playoff mode, and right now, every move counts. We're looking at a wild card series against the Boston Red Sox, and the first game is just over 24 hours away. The stakes are sky high because the Yankees need to take 2 out of 3 games to move on and face the Toronto Blue Jays in the American League Division Series. That is if they can get past the Red Sox, who are looking just as determined to make a deep run. Let's start with the pitching matchup for the first game, because it sets the tone for everything that comes after. Max Fried is going to take the mound for the Yankees, and on the other side, Garrett Crochet is expected to pitch for Boston. Crochet is widely regarded as a top contender for the Cy Young Award this year, which means the Yankees are facing one of the toughest pitchers in the league right out of the gate. Historically, facing someone like Crochet requires precision, patience, and smart lineup decisions. That's why the Yankees' recent roster choices have sent shockwaves through the fan base. The big news is that Austin Wells is going to start at catcher tomorrow, and Paul Goldschmidt is expected to be at first base. At first glance, some of this makes sense from a defensive perspective. Goldschmidt is certainly a superior fielder at first, and Wells has shown some promise as a versatile option behind the plate. But the controversy comes in when you consider who isn't starting. Ben Rice, one of the hottest hitters on the Yankees roster, is being benched. And to be clear, this is not a small move. Rice has been one of the premier players in Major League Baseball this season. He ended the regular season ranked in the top 10 hitters in the American League, even despite being labeled one of the unluckiest hitters around. So why bench a player of his caliber? The reasoning seems to revolve around his track record against left-handed pitchers, and specifically against Garrett Crochet. Over his career, Rice is 1 for 8 in plate appearances against Crochet, with his lone hit being a double. The numbers are not ideal, but when you consider the streak he's been on lately, it feels like a missed opportunity. Rice has been on fire recently, hitting over 340 in his last 20 games, and to leave him out seems almost irrational. Meanwhile, Austin Wells has gone 2 for 9 against Crochet in his career, including 1 home run, and the Yankees are choosing him over Rice. It is true that Wells has improved as the season progressed, showing growth and potential, but the decision still raises serious questions. It does not stop there. Paul Goldschmidt's numbers against Crochet are not exactly encouraging either. In 13 plate appearances against him this season, he has only managed 2 hits. Essentially, nobody is having an easy time hitting Crochet, which is expected from someone of his caliber. So if the main argument is performance against this particular pitcher, the decision to bench Rice still seems puzzling. You could try to justify it by pointing to defensive prowess or matchups in the field, but even then, it does not fully add up. Ben Rice is not just a batter. He is a key player capable of making game-changing contributions both offensively and defensively. To add another layer to this, Jazz Chisholm, who had an outstanding season, hitting 31 home runs with an average over 240, is also being sidelined. Chisholm is not only a potent bat, but also one of the best defensive players on the team. Max Fried, the pitcher starting for the Yankees, is known for inducing ground balls, which means having your top defenders on the field is crucial. Yet, despite these facts, the Yankees lineup puts Goldschmidt and Wells over Chisholm and Rice. Ahmed Rosario is being slotted in at second base because he has had significant success against Crochet historically. That makes sense on paper, but it does not justify removing 2 of the team's hottest and most reliable players. When you dig into the numbers, it becomes even more striking. Ben Rice finished the season with 26 home runs and an overall OPS of 836. Jazz Chisholm, as mentioned, had 31 home runs and an OPS over 813. Paul Goldschmidt's numbers, while solid in general, do not match Rice's recent performance, especially considering the context of the postseason. This series against the Red Sox is going to be tight, and every at-bat matters. Choosing to sideline Rice and Chisholm in favor of lineup decisions that seem primarily defensive or situational is causing fans to question whether the team management is overthinking the matchups to the detriment of maximizing their offensive firepower. It is not just about numbers. It is about momentum. Baseball is a game of confidence as much as skill. Rice has been seeing the ball incredibly well, timing pitches perfectly, and coming through in critical moments. Chisholm has been driving the ball with authority, contributing on both sides of the field. To bench them right before a high-stakes game feels like a disruption to the rhythm that the team has built over the season. And yet, this is exactly what the Yankees are doing. From a strategic standpoint, the rationale may be defensible in a narrow sense, focusing on individual pitcher matchups and fielding advantages, but it ignores the broader picture of form, morale, and the momentum that these players bring to the table. Even considering Paul Goldschmidt's defensive skills, the choice to bench Chisholm seems harder to justify. Chisholm is versatile, athletic, and capable of making plays in critical situations. By choosing not to play him, the Yankees may be sacrificing more than they gain. Meanwhile, Rosario's inclusion makes sense in terms of historical success against Crochet, but it highlights a pattern. The lineup decisions seem to prioritize very specific situational statistics over the overall contributions of players who have been carrying the team offensively. Fans have every reason to be frustrated because what we are seeing appears to be mismanagement, and at a time when every decision can tip the balance of a postseason series, that is concerning. The pressure is only going to intensify over the next 3 games. The Red Sox are going to bring everything they have, and every single at-bat could be decisive. The Yankees need their best hitters and their top fielders on the field simultaneously, and yet the decisions we are seeing suggest a focus on narrow matchups instead of holistic strategy. Rice, Chisholm, and other key contributors have shown that they can perform under pressure. Bench them now, and you risk losing not just the game, but also the momentum and confidence of the team heading into a high-stakes series. It is one of those moments that makes fans shake their heads because on paper, the rationale is there. Lefty-righty matchups, defensive positioning, historical statistics. But in practice, the timing could not be worse, and the choices come across as completely counterintuitive. Baseball is a game that thrives on momentum, confidence, and flow. By disrupting that, the Yankees could be creating unnecessary challenges for themselves in a series where every hit, every play, every decision matters. Now, looking ahead to the rest of this wild card series, it is shaping up to be an absolute battle. The Yankees versus the Red Sox is always a rivalry that brings tension, drama, and moments that can swing a series in an instant. With the first game looming just over 24 hours away, every fan is on edge because the lineup decisions we just talked about will directly influence how this series unfolds. The Yankees need 2 out of 3 wins, and with Garrett Crochet on a mound for Boston, the margin for error is razor thin. Every swing, every pitch, and every defensive play is magnified. When you break down the series from a strategic perspective, Boston has some clear advantages. Crochet is a dominant left-handed pitcher who has given most teams fits this season. He is not just a Cy Young contender. He is one of the most consistent and overpowering pitchers in the league. Facing him is a challenge for any hitter, but the Yankees' decision to bench Ben Rice and Jazz Chisholm complicates their chances even further. Rice has been in incredible form, and Chisholm's power and fielding versatility could be crucial against a team like the Red Sox, who are sure to exploit any weakness in the lineup. By prioritizing matchups and defensive metrics over hot streaks and overall performance, the Yankees are taking a calculated risk, and it will be fascinating to see whether that risk pays off or backfires. From a fan perspective, it is hard not to question the thinking behind these moves. Baseball is full of numbers and analytics, but it is also a sport driven by timing and momentum. Players like Rice and Chisholm have demonstrated that they can handle high-pressure situations, and to remove them at this critical juncture feels counterintuitive. Even when you consider the defensive advantages of Goldschmidt at first base or the historical success of Rosario against Crochet, there is still a sense that the Yankees may be overcomplicating their strategy. Confidence and rhythm matter just as much as statistics, especially in a postseason series where one hit can change the entire trajectory of the game. Another element to consider is how these lineup decisions affect team morale. Players are keenly aware of who is in the starting lineup and who is sitting, and that awareness can influence their mindset at the plate and in the field. Ben Rice and Jazz Chisholm are not just strong hitters. They are leaders in their own right, and their absence could subtly shift the team dynamic. Baseball is a mental game as much as a physical one. When you remove top performers during the most critical moments of the season, you risk undermining not only their confidence, but also the rhythm of the entire roster. This series is going to be incredibly close, and the Yankees cannot afford to leave their best players on the bench. Now, looking at the individual matchups, this series is going to hinge on several key battles. Max Fried on a mound for the Yankees is known for his ability to generate ground balls and limit big hits, but he needs support from the defense. That is where someone like Jazz Chisholm should be irreplaceable. His ability to cover ground, make tough plays, and hit with power could be the difference between winning and losing crucial games. Meanwhile, Boston will lean heavily on Crochet to shut down the Yankees' offense early, putting immense pressure on New York to get runs quickly. The Yankees need to balance strategic matchups with their hottest players on the field, and any misstep could tilt the series in Boston's favor. The decision to insert Wells and Goldschmidt may have its reasoning, but when you look at the broader picture, it raises questions about risk versus reward. Wells has shown flashes of excellence and potential, but Rice's recent performance has been undeniable. Goldschmidt is a superior fielder, but the trade-off in offensive firepower is significant. Rosario at second base is a smart move considering his history against Crochet, but it does not compensate for the absence of players who are currently driving the team's momentum. In a short series like this, every at-bat and defensive play is amplified, and lineup decisions that focus too narrowly on statistics or matchups rather than overall impact could come back to haunt the Yankees. This is a situation where management has to make tough calls, but it also illustrates the challenge of balancing analytics with intuition. The numbers suggest one thing, but the reality of baseball is that hot streaks, timing, and confidence can be just as decisive. Rice has been seeing the ball incredibly well. Chisholm has been crushing it offensively and defensively, and the momentum they bring is not something you can easily replace. The Yankees' choices may ultimately work out, but there is no denying that they have created a narrative full of tension, speculation, and concern among their fans. Over the next 3 games, we will see if these decisions hold up under pressure. The Red Sox are not going to make it easy, and every play will matter. The Yankees need to capitalize on their strengths, manage their weaknesses, and hope that the calculated risks in the lineup do not backfire. This is what makes the postseason so thrilling and unpredictable. One series can define a season, and one bad decision, or one missed opportunity, can change everything. The Yankees have the talent, the history, and the ability to succeed, but the question remains, will the management's strategic choices help them navigate the challenges ahead, or will they stumble against a team that is equally hungry for victory? Fans will be watching every swing, every pitch, and every defensive play with bated breath. The tension is palpable, the stakes are sky-high, and the margin for error is almost non-existent. This series is not just a test of skill. It is a test of strategy, intuition, and the ability to make split-second decisions that could define the outcome. The Yankees have the tools to succeed, but it will require every player to perform at their absolute best, regardless of who starts or sits. The drama is already building, and by the time the first pitch is thrown, the energy will be electric, the expectations monumental, and the scrutiny unrelenting. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. Whispers have been circulating through the clubhouse corridors and locker rooms across Major League Baseball, and the latest buzz is impossible to ignore. VLADIMIR Guerrero Jr., the young powerhouse sensation who has captured the imagination of fans from Toronto to Tokyo, is reportedly signing with the New York Yankees. While nothing is official yet, sources close to the deal suggest that the move could send shockwaves through the league and, more importantly, supercharge the Yankees' heart of the lineup. Guerrero Jr., known for his prodigious power and uncanny ability to turn a pitch into a highlight reel moment, has long been a player whose presence in any lineup is a game changer. The thought of him anchoring a Yankees batting order already stacked with heavy hitters is enough to make opposing pitchers lose sleep. Fans have taken to social media in droves, speculating how the young slugger will mesh with the Bronx Bombers' existing stars. Could this be the final piece that pushes New York over the edge in pursuit of another World Series title? Many insiders seem to think so. While Guerrero Jr.'s move to the Yankees remains technically in the realm of rumor, the speculation is fueled by both timing and pattern. The team has been quietly maneuvering to reinforce its offensive firepower, and adding a bat like Guerrero Jr.'s would signal an unmistakable statement. New York is not here to play it safe. Sources hint at negotiations progressing behind closed doors, with both sides reportedly enthusiastic about a potential alignment of talent and ambition. If this deal comes to fruition, the Yankees lineup could instantly become one of the most feared in decades, with Guerrero Jr. providing the kind of middle-of-the-order punch that can change a series with a single swing. Even without confirmation, the mere possibility has stirred an electric mix of anticipation, skepticism, and sheer excitement. Analysts are already theorizing how Guerrero Jr.'s skill set could complement the current roster, while fans envision a parade of highlight moments. Long home runs flying into the right field bleachers, clutch RBIs in late innings, and a relentless offensive rhythm that could leave opposing teams scrambling. For now, it's all whispers and speculation, but one thing is clear. If Vladimir Guerrero Jr. really does join the Yankees, the heart of their lineup will not just beat, it will roar. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.